Hello and good morning. Today is Thursday, 2/19, 2015. This is the Syncfrog Expert Hour. I am your host, JP, and today we will be talking about the transformability inside of Syncfrog. So first we're going to do our quick little spiel about what is Syncfrog and how much does it cost and everything along those lines. The functionality I'm going to show you today can be achieved with the free version of Syncfrog. We do not limit what you can have access to, depending on how much you pay us. And we'll kind of cover that in a second here. So, what is Syncfrog? We allow you to move your information from Surveymonkey, Twitter, Salesforce reports, Google Sheets, a few others, and put it into CRM, Dynamics, Infusionsoft, Oracle, Salesforce. A couple example of CRMs. So we take information from one place and allow you to bucketize, transform, and otherwise convert your data from your source to your target. So it's quite simple. We move information from one place to another. And so we'll talk about the packages now. For the big reason is why there's different packages and what's the pricing and stuff like that. So today what we're showing you could actually be achieved with the basic package with one login per connector, one data leap, and we'll cover that more in a second, manual sync, and our community support. So this could be run manually. That means you would have to log into Syncfrog every single time and process this data leap. Today we'll be doing Surveymonkey to Salesforce because I want to show the transformability, and I've already got some things set up on both sides of it. Then we have our second most popular package type, which is our bronze, which gives you one login per connector, 5 data leaps, and then you can do your daily scheduling at that price point, and it's also $49 per month, which is incredibly cheap for a data integration product that can be set to run on a daily basis, especially when you're talking something from moving data from Salesforce. And we can actually move it from the same Salesforce org to the same org, or from Salesforce reports to Microsoft Dynamics. We can do stuff like that. And we're still talking $49 per month. Silver, that gives you 3 login per connectors, and the typical use case of why I would want 3 logins per connector if I was using multiple Salesforce orgs and I want to synchronize data across multiple orgs. You can use Syncfrog, and that's easy enough to do. You set up a report on one org, and you have it synchronized to the others. That gives you 10 data leaps, also gives you monthly daily scheduling, and gives you the email support. Then we have our second most popular package right now, which is our unlimited, which gives you unlimited login per connectors, unlimited data leaps, our smallest time frame for uh, scheduling, which is 1 hour, and then you get community priority email support, and that's at $199 a month. The biggest thing I want to let everybody know is currently we do offer chat support for everyone. So if you want to um, ask us a question, it's right there on the login page or create account page. So you can ask a question. You can also ask us questions about your data leap. Am I doing this right? I'm getting errors, anything along those lines. Go ahead and start a chat with us. Be happy to answer your questions. So the biggest thing is what is considered a data leap, right? So you see our basic, we get one data leap. One data leap would be one complete set of mapping from one source to one target. You can run that mapping several times a day if you wanted to, um, but it is considered one set. Now, a second data leap in this particular case would be you'd have your Surveymonkey to Salesforce. Well, how about you have a typeform to Salesforce as well? I know there are two competing products, but you could have running both of those simultaneously and set up daily if you go to the bronze package. So a data leap, and this is what we have it for text here. A data leap is the process of sending information from one place to another. So sending the results of a Surveymonkey survey into Infusionsoft would be one data leap. The basic version, so it's a one data leap. The paid version's allowed more. Once a leap is set up, there is no limit to the amount of actual data you can send. So exactly what I just said, you can run that same data leap. It could have 80,000 different logs, but you could only do one. And then you can move up to bronze. I will say, once you upgrade your account to the bronze, you get much better error reporting as well. You have the ability to rerun leaps as well, retry from errors, and extract your data. Excuse me. Extract your data directly into Google Sheets as well. So that makes life much easier for keeping a change log and everything along those lines. Is, hey, this is exactly what happened, and this is what errors or successes that you're getting. Are all apps available in all accounts? Yes, we don't have any premium apps, so you don't have to upgrade to gold just to get Salesforce. It's available even on our basic free version. Same thing with Marketo and Litmus. All those are going to be free versions available on the free version. Now, you might need to have a bigger version of, or a higher paid for version of your source or target to access the data leap ability, which means you would need API access. I know Litmus only allows that on, I believe their silver package type gives you access to it. And Salesforce on the very small editions don't give you many API calls, which would severely limit how much data you could actually move over. So you're confined to what your source or what your target would actually have for a limit. But for us, there is no limit to the actual amount of data that you can move. So cool. So today we're going to be talking about a new thing that we've added into Syncfrog. And that ability is called the transform ability. And what I will show you is I have, and like I said, we're using Surveymonkey today and Salesforce. So what I've done is I have this transform survey that I've set up. And what this is going to do, and the items we're going to cover, is the transform ability, the upload ability of using the transforms, a date transform, because you can see that date of purchase question I have here, and some Boolean and a couple others. So we'll show you all the mapping, how to map this out, and also using the transform ability to set things up. Okay, so this is my transform survey is really just a product registration survey, right? So we have a company name question here. Actually, I think yeah, okay. I added a couple questions and change things around. So what I have is a product registration survey, and we're just asking first name, last name, their email address, the company name that they are with, the date of purchase. I didn't use a date field inside of SurveyMonkey, um, although you can. I do want to show off the date transform. And also, what store did you purchase this product in? So we're going to ask them and not give them a list, because maybe we're not keeping up-to-date records of where we sell all of our products, or it's just not feasible. So we'll have just people type it in as well. Also, a drop down for what product are they registering. So we have several different products here. Kind of a MPS kind of question type. It's just a product rate on date of purchase, satisfactory of the date of purchase. And that's got, 1 to 10 scale. And then our typical comments field, and then our opt-out question if they want to receive more emails from us. And really simple. So I've designed this survey to go with a object I've created inside of Salesforce. So we'll take a look at that object here. So if I go to create and we say objects, and I believe I called it project registration form. There it is. So here's my product registration form that I've created inside of Salesforce. You can see that I've created the comments field, a contact field to look up any of our created contacts, which we'll have it do. Our email opt-out question that relates to our last question. I also added a lead just in case. Um, a product list, which is a pick list. A purchase date, which is a date question field. Our retail store, which is actually a lookup to our accounts. And the reason why I did that is there's only my accounts could be private and also public companies. So I'll have a list of specific accounts that I know are retail stores, the Kortenhoff. And then I could have, private suppliers that I have as well. And then our value in our product, which is actually going to a number field. So we'll do apply transform. So let's check out the transformability. So I'm going to create a new data leap today. And we will say from our Surveymonkey to our Salesforce. Our images change here. Tell it our credentials that we use for Surveymonkey. So that's my credentials. And we'll tell it what survey it is. So we should have a transform survey. There it is. Awesome. And what collector? I only have one collector set up because the transform survey is going to be embedded on my website or something along those lines. So I'll just say web link 1 and our collection method. Do I want only new responses, which would get all responses when I first run it? Or do I want all responses every single time? Well, in this case, I'm going to do new responses because I'm going to run this data leap on a schedule. So I'm going to have it synced every day. So I'll have new product registrations every day. And we will click on next here. Our credentials for Salesforce. And a bad typing error. And there we go, Transform Expert Hour. And we'll click on Create here and say, okay, take me to the mapping. Okay, so excellent. Well, the first thing I want to do is create them as a contact, right? So our first thing is we're going to click on the basic types here, click on contact, and click on add new section. We'll be doing update existing or creating a new record for a contact. Maybe they have multiple purchases or product registrations. So we have our where statement. Where are we going to find this person? How are we going to find this person? Well, we want their email address. Well, you're thinking, all right, let's use this respondent email. That won't work for us because we did not email it out. And that's only accessible if we emailed them directly from Surveymonkey. So we're going to use our email address question here. And we'll go to our email field inside of Salesforce. So that's email address to email address, right? Easy way to find somebody inside of your CRM email address. Best value obviously would be ID value. And we're actually going to use that in the second part of this mapping. And if I do find multiple contacts with that email address, what do you want me to do? I want to use last modified. And now we can just map over our questions. So we'll just click on auto map fields here. Last name, email address, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. First name is right. First names, and we'll trash those. So we have the auto map. So we have last name, email address, first name, right? Do we have any other questions that we need to have answered for this particular person? Right. So do we have anything else? Company name. So we could have a account created for them as well, if we like, or anything along those lines. So since I don't have like a company, all I have is account ID, and I'm not going to be using that. So we're just going to head and trash that. And we would need the company name field, honestly, for a lead, right? So if we're going to create a new lead, Um, you can see that company is required question, so we can do company there. Last name, again, we can use email address, email as modified, map new field, and we'll say first name to first name, and third email address. Cool. So what we did is I just mapped out real quick a lead as well. And we will do lead if the contact wasn't updated or created. So what we can do is we can actually apply a condition on this. And we can say add our section condition to only run if our contact wasn't completed, right? So if that mapping section didn't complete, go ahead and create them as a lead. So we'll just say if that section's not completed. Now, obviously, that's not going to work because it's going to update or create depending on the email address. So if we were just doing a straight update, then it would move on to, if it couldn't update, then it will create them as a lead or update as a lead. Cool. All right, now that we have that done, we want to map over our information into our custom object that I created a little bit ago, right? So I just created this, about an hour, 2 hours ago, if that. So didn't take me very long. Honestly, this is only a few minutes worth of work, just a comments field, a contact, a checkbox, a lookup, a pick list, a date, a lookup, and a number. I mean, that's really simple stuff. It's called one-to-one mapping. Is exactly what we're doing. A field for every single question that we're going to ask. All right, so let's grab that object from our Salesforce types list here. So we're going to scroll down. You can see we have our basic types in alphabetical order. Then we have our advanced types in alphabetical order, and you can see, oh, it's not there. Well, custom types are all the way down here at the bottom, and it'll show every custom object you've created. So I should be able to find the product registration object. All right, so we have product registration form. And so we should have product registration form. Oh, I'm not seeing. So what we can do is if we don't see our object or a specific field, we can click on this refresh types button. What that's going to do, it's going to grab our list from Salesforce again. So it's re-itemizing our entire list. And you can see that all types have been refreshed from Salesforce. So now if I click on the drop down here, we have product registration form. There it is. Click on add new section. So I want to create a new product registration form every single time somebody fills this out, right? So we have our create new record here. We could do a find existing, update existing. We talked about that. So create new record. We have no where statements, right? Because it's just going to be creating records. And I'm going to click on map new field. And I'm going to go right down the list of what it says inside of our product registration form side. So our comments, and we'll just say comments, any comments you wish us to know. Our next one is our contact. So that's easy enough. We will grab our reference one contact, right? And what that will do is grab the lead, the contact ID from our first mapping section and use it in our third mapping section. So that's actually how we're relating this record to each other. And I will go right down to the next one. We have email opt-out, and that goes to, would you like to receive more emails from us? So this is our first transform we want, right? Because we have in our survey here, would you like to receive more emails from us? Surveymonkey would try and send this information into exactly what you select, please, or I'm good, but thank you for asking, right? So our first transform that we're going to apply, and we can access the transform here. So we have an email opt-out Boolean, and what that is we have a lookup transform, we're actually going to use a is not blank. Actually, we will do our value transform here. And what that means is if I type in the word please, that will give us the value of true inside of our CRM. And that will check the box. So a value of 1 checks the box. A value of false or 0 will not check the box. So we have our first transform right there. We don't have to apply any conditions or anything like that you used to have to do, right? You'd have to condition it and say, okay, answer to this question. With the value transform, anytime that we get the value of please, then it will check the box. And then if I want to add another one, matches exactly what I have to say. So we will just copy that, paste that, go back in here, matches, and we'll say false. And what that will do is if they select matches the word please, then it will check the box. If they say no, I'm good, but thank you for asking, it will uncheck it if it is checked. And we'll click on apply. And that's our first transform. And you can see that it turns from a solid blue to a green blue. And we'll do the next mapping here. We have our lead reference, which again, we'll just use the reference. And again, with the way our mapping is set up, you could do one or the other, depending on the way you want to do it. Then we have map new field. So we did lead. Now we have owner ID. I'm not going to apply a owner ID. I want Salesforce just to apply our owner for us. And then we have product pick list. And that's going to go to our pick list question here, is what product are you registering, right? So what we have here is what product are we registering, right? We have Mr. Fluffy Bunny, Dr. Melvin's Widget Wonder, Worf's Special Friend, Neo's Reality Machine, Mr. Stinky's Flying Friend, and Happy Fun Time Candle. Now that's the products that my customers know about, right? And if I was to map this straight to our pick list inside of Salesforce, it would actually add these values directly to our pick list options. That's how it works. It's like adding a new. Well, I don't want that to happen. I want us to transform these selections into what I have inside of Salesforce. So when you look at my mapping here and I say product to pick list, you'll see that it actually grabs my pick list values from Salesforce. So that's the actual values I have in my CRM. So I have Fluffy Bunny, Widget, Photon Torpedo, Impossible Machine, a Flying Goat, and Waxless Candle. So, and we have our when statements, so matches or includes. So we can say matches, and we have Fluffy Bunny, right? So if I go into the design area, and this makes my life much easier, is copying and pasting. So I'll say Mr. Fluffy Bunny. Then if I get the value of Mr. Fluffy Bunny, then I get the value of Fluffy Bunny. And I want to add another one here, and we'll just go through, Dr. Melvin's Widget Wonder, and that is a widget. Worf's Special Friend, that happens to be a Photon Torpedo. This company seems to purchase all sorts of interesting items. So we'll do Impossible Machine and a Flying Goat, and lastly our Waxless Candle. So again, just copy it from here. Oop. Paste. Friend. Paste. And a Happy Fun Time Candle. Awesome. And what do you want us to do if if it gets an error or something along those lines, then you can have us skip the field, use the source value, or actually use a additional value. If it doesn't match that one, we can use actually a different value. So this is done per mapping, transform as well. We can also, and we'll cover this in a second, actually upload up to 500 when or includes with values. And I'll cover that again in a second here. And we'll click on apply here. Boom. So that will automatically transform our product registration into the product list that we have here. And we'll continue to work our way down here. Product registration form name. Well, we can use a fixed value. And we can say website registration form. And what that will do is it will give our record when they're created a name instead of just the ID value that you normally get. Makes life a little bit easier to let you know we're getting all these registrations from this particular website. So if you had multiple websites, you could say, this is Mr. Wizard's website's registration form, or if you had another property that you had, Miss Dr. Science's, even though they're both the same company, you could have different registration forms. So that's an easy way to tell. Okay, purchase date. Awesome. So one of our questions inside our transform survey here is date of purchase. And we're going to use this for, warranty information or whatever. So you can track, if you had a recall of certain products, anything you really need a date off of. So you can see that I'm asking for it in month, day, year, year. So we'll do purchase date, and I have our purchase date field, and then I have date of purchase. The problem is inside of Salesforce, the format you need to use is not month, / day / year. It is, so we'll do a date transform. You can see that I grabbed the automatically selected on based field type. So since we are going to a date field, it automatically grabbed our transform of date. So our source format is in, again, month - day / year. And Salesforce, unfortunately, needs it in the format of year - month - day. And that actually can change depending on your locale. So if you're in the UK, or I think it's set to EU instance or something like that, you'd actually need to do it in a year - day - month format. And you can also use different formats if you need it as well. I just happen to make it a date field. If you had a date time, then you can use something like that, which is the hour, minute, second, or this is the Z format as well. And so we're money. And you can also do a source time zone. So if, this is if you were doing large bulk transforms and stuff like that, and moving from one Salesforce org to another that happens to be in a different time zone. So X company is on Pacific time and Y company is on Australian Eastern Standard Time. You can have us apply the time zone, and that will clean things out as well for you. Cool. So that's our date transform. So that's automatically going to move it from our data purchase to the proper format for us here. And we'll map our next field here. So we have purchase date. We have retail store, and you can see it says reference here, which is retail store actually happens to be a account field. And so we have our, what store did you purchase your product in? I know you're thinking JP. Well, it's a reference field, and you have a text field. There's no way that they're going to know an ID value of what happens to be an account in this. Well, you can see that I have Excel open here, and that opened up on my other screen. So what I've done And this is only because I know it's only going to be from certain ones. I've actually created one of those upload files that I talked about, and that does our includes. And so you can see that we have an includes EDG, which would be our edge communication store, um, or matches the word edge communications. And you can see that we have our account ID value right in there. And we also have matches hues. So if they actually type in hues, it'll be that particular one, or includes IMMO and a different account ID. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload these. Jeez, tired, full of yawns and sneezes today. I apologize. So there's and these could have up to 500 different ones. And the reason why I do the includes and matches is, includes people, IBM's not the same as International Business Machine. This is hard coded logic. Like, it's not going to search inside of Salesforce for these ID values for us. I'm actually putting these in because I know there's only specific retailers. It's really poor, honestly, a poor example of using the account transfer, where this is really meant to do, when then statements on bulk. So let's do what store did you purchase this in? We have a retail store. So we're going to do, again, a lookup field. And we'll do our advanced here, and we'll say choose our file. And we'll grab it. So it is called, geez, big, long list. What do we call it? Transform uploaded 2.19. So if I go back to the T's, that's CSV. We click on open here, and then we click on load. You'll see, look, it did our includes and our values and everything else that I put on the spreadsheet. And if it's not right, you can click on the red X and that'll nuke it from existence. But so if you have a big long list, this will take, again, 500. If you have more than 500, you can map and use the transform. You can map the same field multiple times, and you can use the transform on multiple files. So if you had 1,500, you could, 1,500 different retail names. You could map retail store field 3 times, upload 3 separate lookup transform fields, and it would actually go through all of them. And yes, that people do that for, if they have more than, they have 1,000 retailer names, then you have to do that multiple times. So excellent. So I can click on apply here, and that applies our transform for us. And we will do our value in product today. So that is, how do you rate your product today? And then this is a good ability of the transform here, is, value in your product. How would you rate your product today? And again, we're going to use the transform ability here. And you can see that we have multiples here. I'll talk about the regex last, just because it comes across in very advanced cases. It's regular expressions with lookup. So again, I'll just use a lookup, and we have 3 to do, right? So inside of here, you can see that my transform survey has a value of 10, excellent, right? So if I click on cancel here, we have 10, excellent. So if I was to select 10, excellent, once again, it's going to try and send over 10, excellent. Well, I'm mapping this to a number field. That's not going to work. It's going to give us an error right away saying excellent is not a number, which it's not. So what we'll do is we'll say 10, excellent, then give us the value of 10. And 5 somewhere in the middle. Then give us the value of 5. And lastly, 1 poor. I hope we don't get that if they just purchase something from us, then the value of 1. So a quick convert of our questions, right? So previously what you would need to do is actually map a new field, add a condition to each one of these, and you would need to do 3 fixed value conditional things per field. Now you can condense it right into a quick transform. I mean, that's way quicker than what we had previously or any of our competitors have as a straight up transform. You know, we're transforming values from one to another. Now, I will talk about the regular expression version. So, regular expression, what that does is most people know regular expressions, and SurveyMonkey does the same thing, is for validations, right? So if I wanted to validate a question, so again, we have our date field here. We have our date of purchase. If I click on edit here and click on options, validate answer for a specific format. Behind this is actually a mathematical formula that makes sure that it is a valid month, day, year, and then between this range. So it actually busts out a mathematical formula for this. So using the transformability, you can actually apply, not the purchase date, registration form name, why not? And we will say, our comments field. So what that would do is look up with regular expression is I can put and I'll read this. If the source value matches the regular expression specified as the when value, then the then value as the target value. Capture groups are available in the then using the annotation $n, where the notation n is the capture group number. That's like the appropriate else option for the source value does not match. Okay. What that really says is I put my regular expression in here, right? So what we could actually do with this is, again, there is a mathematical formula that will calculate this stuff out, and we can validate that our answer conforms to a specific format, right? That month, day, / year. With this, it would make you make sure that your data conforms to a certain thing, validating that, email address has a @ or in .com. Again, really advanced functionality, and you can load this stuff as well. But you could also use regular expressions, and we use JavaScript regular expressions to extract data. For example, if you wanted to have a phone number question, right? So you have a phone number question, and you, for whatever reason, want just to extract out the area code, of that question. You could actually have us do a regular expression transform lookup that would just extract the area code part of it. And you can apply that to a specific field if you're doing regional tracking or something along those lines. It's really all I'm going to talk about with the edit value transform as well. Doesn't really come up very often with a regular expression. The is blank is not blank. Well, you saw me use that is not blank. Is blank and is not blank. Sorry, I didn't use this one. So is blank. If the value is blank, then pass over a specific thing, right? So easy way I usually tell people this is value is blank. That would be if they didn't put any text in the text field or something like that. If the value is blank, then you can put something in like in our question here, no comments. or question not answered. Okay. Right. That way I always have a specific value that I have in here. And I happen to just use our comments field. So if I put a comment in here, it's going to use the comments field. If there's no comments, then it's going to use that. So one new thing that we did add into our app here is, see this little drag? You can reorder your mapping now. So now that I dragged it up to the top, you can see our product registration, and we'll put it back into our comments field here, transform. So you can reorder your mapping. It makes life way easier when you're going through things. You can see all my numbers are out of sequence. Well, if I don't like that view, then I can reorder, put 5 and 6 at the top and move things around if I need to. Cool. And then we have is blank and is not blank, right? So if I do our comments again, we'll be using, we have our transform here, and we have is not blank, then what do you want us to do? A great use case for this is if I was to send something out, you wanted to check a box or something like that. The value is not blank. It just means if there's any data on it, then what do you want me to do? Question answered. If it was going to a checkbox, it could check the box saying, survey submitted, something along those lines. I've used this actually with the IP address and to say, survey completed, because I only get the IP address if they completed the survey, right? Just to check a box or something like that. So if you see our Boolean email opt out, you would see it. So, it would just say matches is not blank. Oh, sorry. I should say is not blank. Then check the box. You can see that it says no pick list match as well. So if we don't have a match in the pick list, so since we used a Boolean, we can use a value of skip. So let me trash that one. Let me see pick list here. No pick list match. What do you want us to do if there's no match in the pick list? So, do you want us to skip the field or use a value, a specific value? That's great if you added things to it and you want to put, you had a other category or something along those lines, where if there's no match in the pick list of exactly what's here, this would use that value. So I'll just cancel that out. All right, cool. So I am done babbling, and let's check it out. All right, so I'm going to scroll down to the picture of Surveymonkey, and there's our information. So I have our company name, none, and we will do date of purchase of 02/19/2015, and I will say IMMO is the store I purchased in, and what product? Well, I've got to get some photon torpedoes, and I am very happy with my product purchase today, and I'm not going to answer any comments, and I would like to receive some emails. Click on done here. Okay, cool. So that's it. I've completed it. Now I can click on activate. I can create this as a schedule, and since I'm on gold, I can actually set this to, interval of every hour or 24 hours. It depends on what you want to run it at. Daily, and we can set it for, what time zone we're at. Happen to be in Arizona, and yes, it is beautiful out. And we have every day or weekdays, so we can have it every day or weekdays only, Monday through Friday. and at a certain time. We can have it run weekly and which days of the week you want to run it, or monthly, and again, pick what months. So I will say, daily, and I'm just going to cancel this for now. And we will say run now. And that's going to grab our Surveymonkey survey information. So here we go. It's fetching the monkey data. We have one record processed. And since I'm on the paid for version, I can see that we did get an error. So we can say errors, and I can dump that straight into a Google spreadsheet or all of my data, or I can view the log details. So we had an error on a create. So let's take a look at the contact. Happened here. So I can use that ID value that we have in there. Well, our registration didn't complete. And it didn't get past the create on that. And I think I know why that crapped out on us. I think it made it to our lead here. So we'll just trash our lead. And we have our contact still apply. Say okay. And again, we can use our collect responses. I need our web link again because I forgot it. So again, that. I turned multiple responses on the survey so I can take it again. And we'll say, Harry, let's see, no, we'll use Gordon Gordo at shoe.com. For date of purchase again, we'll do 02, actually 02, 19, 2015, and we'll say IMMO. Again, we'll do our special friend here. We'll select that and no comments. Click on done, and we get the cute little Weimaraner puppy. And we will rerun this data leap. So click on activate here again, and we'll click on run now. You can see that I've run from data, and since I had an error, I can export it to our Google Sheets, transform it, and then rerun it from the same spreadsheet. So we have one record processed, and we have success, right? And I can see our view log details here, and you can see that it did created a contact and created a product registration form. So if I go to this contact inside of Salesforce, and again, since I'm lazy, I'm not going to search for him. I'm just going to use the ID value I got. We should have our Gordon Schumann here. And you can see that our email came across, and it's a brand new contact, and we have our product registration form. So we have website registration form. And you can see that our relationship's there. Our product actually says Photon Torpedo instead of what I selected. Our value in our product today, look at that. There's our value of 10. Our question not answered by taker, which is our transform as well. Our email opt-out has been checked because I said please. Our purchase date, and you can see that is a date field inside of our Salesforce here. So you can see it's in the picker format. And look, it found our retail store and made our relationship for us for our account. And just the created by is by me, and the owner is by me as well. So if I go to the retail store of Immolation, you can see that our product registration form is there as well. So that is about 40 minutes of just how to use the transform ability. As you can see, it's immensely powerful stuff. I mean, transforming values from one thing to another. I mean, even doing the bookend stuff, converting it from 10 excellent to just 10 saves a ton of time because you have what you what you know on one side and what you want it to be on the other. I mean, that's great. So thank you for attending the Expert Hour for 2/19/2015, all about the transformability inside of Syncfrog. Thank you and happy leaping.